Alrighty, everybody. Welcome back to episode 20 of the Journeyman Sports Podcast. Today, we have got our week 13 pick'ems. Cade sadly not able to make it on today, but we've got his picks right here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but we've got all of our picks for the games. This is a pretty interesting slate of games this week, so really looking forward to diving into this one. So, first, we got the Packers at the Bears. It's an interesting game. Packers, team that has very much underperformed this year. Haven't seen them. Typically, it's a flip side of what their record is right now. Typically, we see them around 8-4 this time of year, not 4-8. Got the Chicago Bears at 3-9. Have to see. I don't know if Justin Fields is playing in this one. I'm gonna pick this as if he is. So Cade is picking the Bears in this one. I'm gonna go with the Packers. I think Aaron Rodgers, he's made it very clear that he owns the Bears. So I think that's going to continue this week. I think the Packers are going to get a good game back here, pretty much out of playoff contention. I'm sure there's some crazy scenario where they sneak in, but I've got Packers winning this one on the road against the Bears. Cade's going with the Bears. So also, we did this in week 10, I believe, and Cade and I both went 6-4. So currently we are even on the NFL pick'ems. So yeah, it's gonna come down to the wire, I think. I think we're both gonna get a good amount right this week. So next up we got the Falcons and the Steelers. Steelers are going into Atlanta. This is an interesting game. Steelers are coming off a big win against the Colts. Kenny Pickett looks solid, easily probably his best game of his career. Falcons, I don't remember if they won or lost last week. The Falcons have been playing well all season. Over they've exceeded their expectations. And the Steelers was right about where I thought they would be. Cade, and this one is picking the Falcons. I'm gonna pick the Steelers. I think the Steelers coming off of a big road win on Monday Night Football, they're gonna have some momentum rolling in, especially with Kenny Pickett, who is obviously, being the quarterback, you are the focal point of the team. I think he's going to keep getting better and better as the season progresses. And I think back-to-back road wins is a great start for a rookie quarterback. So I'm going to go with Steelers in this one. I'm going to pick them to win 27-24. Then the other game, I'm going to say the Packers win 20-14. So next up, we have got the Jets and the Vikings. This very interesting game. Jets, obviously, Lord and Savior Mike White he's been really good for them when he's played. He picked up the win last week. Dude he always seems to play well when he's in there. Be interesting to see exactly how he plays against this Vikings team, who is, they've proven that they are very, very good. And going on the road as well. Cade is picking the Jets to win this one. He's gonna ride with Magic Mike here, Magic Mike White. I'm going to pick the Vikings. I think a lot of people will see this as a game that the Jets could win. I don't. I think there is a possibility that happens for sure. But for me, I just think the Vikings are just too good. Nothing against Mike White, but I don't know. I don't think he's good enough to save this team. The Jets defense will be the storyline to watch in this one. If they can hold Minnesota to under, I'd say 20 or 24 points, then I think that's the Jets' best chance to win. I'm going to pick Minnesota to win this one. Jets defense is pretty good. We'll say 27-17. Next up, we've got Jacksonville Jaguars and the Detroit Lions. Jameson Williams might be making his NFL debut in this game, so as a Jags fan, I hope not. I hope you come back the next week and play amazing the rest of the season and for the rest of your career. Jags coming off a big time win at home against the Ravens. Lions also coming off a couple wins in a row, I believe. Or maybe they just lost. They had a little winning streak going. This is a tough game to pick. At Detroit, That's a tough place to play, in my opinion. Jacksonville, both these teams are playing good football right now. I think no one in the NFL, even if you're the Chiefs, Eagles, I don't think you'd want to play either of these teams. I feel like these are two teams that throughout the remainder of the season are going to be teams that can ruin or rearrange some playoff positioning for teams. Uh, that being said, I think the Jags are going to win this one. Kate is going with the Lions. I'm picking the Jags. Trevor Lawrence is playing some really, really good football right now over the last month. I think he's going to keep that rolling into December, get a big road win here against the Lions. I've got the Jaguars winning this one in a bit of a shootout. I'm going to go 33-30. Jaguars win at Detroit. Next up, we got the Titans traveling to face the Eagles. This is going to be a very good game, in my opinion, very physical. I think we're going to see a lot of running from both teams. It's going to be a battle of the trenches. And to me, that favors Philadelphia, especially at home. Me and Cade both have the Eagles here. I think this is one of the games where I could see sort of an upset. I wouldn't even call it an upset if Tennessee wins this because Tennessee's a really good team. I just think the Eagles are going to dominate in the trenches. Titans' offensive line is banged up, no Harold Landry, and the Eagles' offensive line is dominant, probably the best in football. I just think the Eagles have a little bit too much talent compared to the Titans. They're hot. They're probably the best team in the league still. So I'm going to pick the Eagles to win this one 30-24. Next up, probably the most anticipated game of the week with the Browns and Deshaun Watson's return to Houston. Now, there are a lot of storylines in this game, but we both have the Browns in this one as much as I feel like any person other than Browns fans would want to see the Texans win this one. I just don't see exactly how that happens. I think Cleveland, despite their record, is a very good team. I think they're going to make a solid push at the end of the year. Don't think they'll be able to sneak into the playoffs, but Deshaun Watson, obviously off the field, disagree with all the stuff that he did, but on the field, we haven't seen him play in a long time, but we know that when he was playing in Houston, he was arguably a top 5, definitely top 10 quarterback in the league. So be interesting to see how he plays in his first real game back. I am very interested to hear the fans, to see some of the Houston guys that were in the locker room with Deshaun, how they react. I would expect maybe an unnecessary roughness, roughing the passer, a couple little dirty, kind of cheap shots from the Texans, which everyone will love to see and have no problem with, I'm sure. But I think the Browns, Nick Chubb, Mari Cooper, Deshaun, Myles Garrett, just way too much talent for this Texans team to handle. I expect the Texans to come out firing, come out hot in this game, but I think Cleveland's going to hang around, and saying that I've always gone by the longer the game goes on, the more talented team will typically win. I'm going to use that logic onto this one. I've got the Browns winning in my opinion, a close game here, 27-26. As I said, we both have the Browns in that game, so we've had a pretty good split so far on games that we agree with and disagree with. Now this is a big time football game. You have two teams battling it out to try and get leg back on the Cowboys, try and take step toward not falling behind the last in the division. Commanders on a absolute heater right now behind Taylor Heineke, and they are playing really well. Yet another team is really finding their stride right now. And then you have the Giants, who are on a big time cold streak. This is a very interesting matchup. The Giants, they've played well all season. I think they've way exceeded their expectations. I thought they would maybe finish around 7, potentially. Wasn't sure. Knew Brian Dable was going to be good when he got there. Didn't expect this level of success, though, from the Giants. Washington started off slow. Carson Wentz gets hurt, putting up decent numbers. Taylor Heineke comes in, and they just start ripping off wins, winning in every way imaginable. And this is an interesting trajectory. You've got a team in Washington that's very much on the rise, team in New York that's starting to fall a little bit. And you've got this little middle ground where they're about to meet at. And this is large implications for playoffs, the division, however you want to put it. This is about as big of a game this week as there is. And me and Cade both have the Commanders in this one. Heineke, I don't know what it is. Reminds me a little bit of the Minshew mania in Jacksonville all those years ago. I think in the NFL, you just ride with the team that's hot. That's the logic I'm taking here. I think this is going to be a defensive game, another close one. I've got the Commanders winning this one 21-17, getting a big leg back on the NFC East. Next up, we got the Denver Broncos. Let's ride, traveling to Baltimore to play against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. This is an interesting game. I mean, actually no, it's not. That's bullshit. Denver's probably gonna get, well, I think Denver's good enough with their defense to keep it close. Baltimore coming off that loss in Jacksonville. They know what's at stake in that division and in the playoffs. I think this is a typical Baltimore game, low scoring, not a lot of offense, but Baltimore is going to find a way to win it in a tight game, not necessarily sloppy or clean. Just, it's always going to be close with them, it seems like. Me and Cade both have the Ravens in this one. I'm going to pick the Ravens to win 27-20, and they're going to get to 8-4, and they're going to try and get back onto the positive momentum train. Now, this is my game of the week. You have the Dolphins, who are one of the best offenses, best teams in the league. Potential MVP candidate in my mind with Tua. And the offensive player of the year again in my mind, Tyreek Hill. Traveling to play the San Francisco 49ers and their crazy three-headed weapon on offense with CMC, Deebo Samuel, and George Kittle. Probably one of the best big threes in offense in the NFL on offense. This is a really tough one to pick. At San Francisco, they're going to get home field advantage. They're going to be playing in front of a good crowd. Miami's going to come in after playing the Texans, so this is a step up in competition for them. And then San Francisco, last week, they beat the Saints. So this is... Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I was really 50-50 on this. I know the 49ers backfield, surprise, surprise, is beat up. Cade's got the Dolphins. I'm also going to ride with the Dolphins just because I feel that they are the healthier team. This is going to be a good game. Mike McDaniels versus his old team and Kyle Shanahan. This is the one I'm really excited to watch this week. And this is going to be big. These are two of the contenders in the AFC and the NFC. So this is a big time game. I've got Miami winning this one in a shootout, 37-32. And Cade also has the Dolphins. I think I said that. Just want to make sure. Seahawks at the Rams. Rams are just destroyed with injuries. They've got the backups playing. Seattle catching a little cold streak here. I think it's a good chance for them to get back. No Aaron Donald in this game for the Rams. I think that personally, I think the Seahawks are going to win this one. So does Cade. And I don't think this one's going to be particularly close. I've got Seahawks going to the Rams. They're healthier. They've got more talent right now with the injuries. I think this is a good bounce back game for them to get back into the win column, try and keep the playoff hopes alive and churning. If I'm not yeah, I mean they can still catch the Niners, especially if the Niners lose and they win, they're right back in it. For their division and then ultimately the playoffs if they do win their division. Which I don't expect to happen. Me and Cade both have the Seahawks here. I'm gonna pick them to win this one, 28-14. Now, in this one, we've got Justin Herbert and the Chargers traveling to play Derek Carr and the Raiders. Raiders, I believe, have put 2 wins together, which they're just weird. Waller, Renfro get hurt, and then they start winning. They've got home field advantage here against the Chargers, who are still trying to battle for potential wild card playoff spot, maybe catch the Chiefs in the division. Chargers have been banged up all year. They've underperformed, lost some close games. I feel like they've been in almost every game they've played. It's just the same kind of story. The injuries come back to bite them in the backside, and I feel like this is going to be a very close game. I feel like this could be similar to what we saw last year in Week 18, which was one of the craziest games I've ever seen in my life. And I don't think, it's a divisional game. You're going to get a good fight from both teams here. I think this is, in my opinion, 2 poorly coached teams. I like Brandon Staley more than I do Josh McDaniels, but I think he just rolls the dice too much. Sometimes you just got to make the right football move, stop leaning so much on the freaking analytics, which, that's just kind of the way the NFL is going now. But I think that me and Cade both have the Chargers in this one. I don't think that's an unpopular pick. Man, thinking of a score prediction on this one is tough. I think it's going to be really close again. I'm going to pick the Chargers to win 28-27. I think it's going to be really back and forth the whole time. And I think that'll be a good game to watch as well. Next, another game of the week contender here. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to the Bengals, rematch of the AFC Championship game. See if the Chiefs can get revenge here. The Chiefs, been a little bit banged up. Hardman's on IR. Juju's been he hasn't been 100%. Missed the Jaguars game, the game after, came back last week. They beat the Rams. Cincinnati coming off a big road win against Tennessee. They're coming back to take home field advantage here. This is going to be a hell of a game. And I expect big numbers put up by both teams here. Me and Cade for the first time in since the 4th game. So that was how many? We picked the same last 7 games. So we finally have a different pick here. Cade is going with the Bengals. I'm going to pick the Chiefs. Mahomes has been pretty good in these revenge type of games. I think that streak continues here. I think Jamar Chase is coming back for this one, which definitely affects this. But I think Kansas City is going to come in. I feel like they're a better coach team. Don't know necessarily that they're more talented, but they do have the best player in the league in Patrick Mahomes, best tight end, really the best duo in the league with Mahomes and Kelsey. I think they're going to come into Cincinnati, really hard-fought game, a lot of points, not a lot of defense. I'm going to pick the Chiefs to win this one, 36-33. And then Cade is going with the Bengals. So I'm excited to watch this game too. I'm hoping that the way TV works out is there's only one 1:00 game, and then the 2 4:00 games are the Chiefs at the Bengals, and then the Dolphins at the Niners. Those should be 2 potential game of the year candidates, I'm hoping. 2 really fun matchups. Then Sunday night football, we've got the Indianapolis Colts traveling to play the Dallas Cowgirls. Colts, Jeff Saturday era, caught the win in Vegas, and then ever since then, it's kind of fallen back to what I feel like a lot of people expected. Cowboys playing some good football, big win on Thanksgiving. Did they have a bye last week? I do not know. I want to check this real quick. No. Okay, so the last game was against the Giants on Thanksgiving. Okay, that's why it just feels like longer. But that was a big win for them. And I think Dallas is going to continue their momentum here. Me and Cade both go in with the Cowboys. It's going to be the team to ride with. Thinking about it, the Colts wouldn't be entirely surprised with a potential upset here. Only thing, Dallas is at home, typically pretty good at home. Dak, you got Zeke and Tony Pollard healthy. CeeDee Lamb is playing out of his mind. That defense is playing well. They're going to be riding some momentum after that Thanksgiving win. And this is a very good chance to try and get a step closer to the Eagles. The Eagles have a chance to lose this week against the Titans for sure. So Dallas could potentially take a game closer to them. I'm going to pick Dallas to win this one 23-17. I think Indy's going to show. I think Dallas is going to start dominating this game. I think the Colts are going to slowly try and climb back. And in the end, it's just not going to be enough to muster up a win. And then Monday Night Football. We've got Cade's New Orleans Saints traveling to Tampa Bay to play Brady and the Bucs. Wow, this game is getting close. I have the Big Ten championship on here. Michigan's winning 28-19. It's a lot closer than what I thought it would be. But anyways, back to the NFL and what I'm actually supposed to be doing. Saints, saw Cade's last video. They're a bit of a mess. Definitely underperformed what I thought they would do this year. Bucks, same thing. A lot of underperforming teams in this division. It's honestly a little bit embarrassing, but I think Tampa Bay is going to win this one. Cade's going with his Saints for some reason. I'm going to roll with the Bucks here. I think they're not hot, but I feel like they're just the better team. I feel like Brady's experience, he's at home. Saints have had his number, but that was with Sean Payton. This new Dennis Allen guy is not exactly the best coach in the league by any stretch. I don't see this being a very high scoring game. I think this is going to be a little bit of a slugfest. I'm going to pick the Bucks to win this one 20-13. This is kind of a bad cap for otherwise pretty solid week of games in the NFL. So like I said earlier, me and Cade both 6-4 going into this. See, we've got 7 or 8 of the same picks at least. I think we have 8 of the same picks. So we'll either get decent amount. Well, we'll see. But there's definitely ground to be made. Dead even right now. Put a little bit of money on it and just bragging rights as a whole too. But that is our week 13 pick'em. Hope that you guys enjoyed the video. And just wanted to say real quick, thank you for the recent support. Channel's starting to do a lot better, really taking off. We've seen you guys really like the wide receiver tier list, hoping to keep more tier list stuff coming. And then the Saints video did good as well. We're starting to catch a little bit of a stride, I feel like, and it's all because you guys watching, supporting, liking, subscribing, everything like that. This stuff would not be possible without all of you guys, and we're very, very thankful. With Christmas coming up, I get out of school on Monday, the 5th, so hoping, I don't know exactly when Cade gets out, but Christmas, we're hoping to get close to maybe not, everyday uploads. Just don't think that's exactly realistic, or it would be the best content that we could provide to you guys. But we definitely want to try and get a really nice rhythm going here. As you're going to see in this one, we've got a nice thumbnail. Had a thumbnail in the last one. We changed the logos on the channel. We're really trying to take a step up in our production. because we feel like that's only going to help grow the channel more. Hoping to keep the new content with tier lists, stuff like that. Hopefully this pick 'em we can keep getting every week. Feel like that's just a fun way to engage with you guys. You could start your own, see how you do against us, whatnot. Yeah, we're just really excited about the overall direction that the channel's going in, and all of it is because of you guys. So we can't thank you enough. Um, really hoping that you guys like this video, and then keep an eye out. We're gonna have a lot of content coming out over the month of December, and we can't wait to give it to you guys. So thank you as always for watching. Make sure to comment what you think about our picks for this week. Like, subscribe, and keep sharing. And yeah, happy early holidays to all of you guys. This has been it for episode 20, Journeyman Sports Podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching.